8 myths about creatine that you need to stop believing. Creatine is without doubt, alongside whey protein, the most popular supplement on the market. And even with numerous studies, many people still fear taking it. Some say it causes hair loss, others that it damages the kidneys. So today you'll see 8 myths about creatine that you need to stop believing, showing where these stories came from. And at the end, I'll also show you what are, in fact, the only real and proven effects of creatine on your body. And no, I'm not making this video to sell you anything. It's really just to break these myths, period. Before we begin, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Myth number 1. Creatine causes hair loss. Starting with the most popular myth. Every video where I talk about creatine on this channel, several people appear in the comments claiming it's a horrible supplement that causes hair loss. The truth is that this idea came from a single study in 2009 with rugby players, which showed an increase in DHT hormone. However, no other study has been able to replicate this result. To this day, there is no scientific evidence that creatine causes or accelerates hair loss. This fear has spread mainly through the internet, where isolated reports gain enormous proportions and end up becoming absolute truths. It's important to understand that correlation does not mean causality. Many men who use creatine are also in the age range where genetic baldness naturally begins to manifest, which can create this false association. Remember that hair loss has multiple factors, primarily genetic. If you have a predisposition to baldness, it will happen regardless of creatine use. And if you don't have this genetic predisposition, creatine won't create this problem out of nowhere. Number 2. Creatine is bad for the kidneys and liver. This is a common fear. But in healthy people, there is no evidence of kidney or liver damage with correct use, which ranges from 3 to 5 grams per day. Only individuals with pre-existing kidney problems should exercise caution and seek medical guidance. Where did this myth come from? Probably from confusion with creatinine, a substance naturally produced by the body that is used as a marker of kidney function. When you take creatine, blood creatinine levels may increase, which is sometimes misinterpreted as a kidney problem. But this is just an effect of the higher concentration of creatine in the body, not a sign of damage. Several long-term studies, some following users for more than 5 years, have found no harmful changes in kidney or liver function. One such study, published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, followed athletes using creatine for 21 months and found no negative changes in kidney health markers. It's important to always stay hydrated when supplementing with creatine, since it increases water retention in the muscles. But this is a basic recommendation for anyone who trains, with or without supplementation. Number 3. Elderly people cannot take creatine. Many people believe that elderly people cannot take creatine, as if it were a supplement exclusive to young people or athletes. But this is false. What science shows, elderly people benefit even more from creatine because it helps preserve muscle mass, strength, and bone density, fighting sarcopenia. There is also evidence of cognitive benefits, such as improved memory and protection against mental decline. Supplementation is considered safe in healthy elderly people within the standard dose. In fact, as we age, our natural creatine stores tend to decrease, as does our ability to synthesize it. Therefore, supplementation can be especially beneficial in this age group. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology showed that elderly people supplementing with creatine in conjunction with strength training had significantly greater gains in lean mass and strength than those who only trained. This is crucial for maintaining functional independence and quality of life in old age. The benefits go beyond musculature. Creatine can also help with brain health. Recent research suggests that it can act as a neuroprotector, helping to maintain brain cell energy and potentially reducing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Number 4. Creatine makes you gain weight. Many people think they will get fat taking creatine. In reality, creatine increases water retention within the muscle, which can make the weight on the scale go up a little. This is not fat, but a positive effect: fuller muscles, better hydration, and better performance. This initial weight gain, usually between 1 and 2 pounds, happens in the first weeks of use and then tends to stabilize. It's important to understand that this additional weight is not subcutaneous fat, but water inside the muscle cells, which even improves the appearance of the muscles, making them more voluminous. Some studies even suggest that creatine can indirectly aid in fat loss, as it provides more energy during workouts, allowing for greater volume and intensity, which consequently increases caloric expenditure. It's true that if you're in a bodybuilding competition phase and need to eliminate as much water as possible, it might make sense to temporarily suspend creatine. But for most people, this muscle swelling is beneficial both for aesthetics and for performance. Remember that your body is approximately 60% water, and having well-hydrated muscles is not just aesthetic, but also functional, allowing better recovery and performance. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Number 5. You need the saturation phase. Many people think it only works if you start with the famous saturation phase, which consists of taking 20 grams per day for a few days. This accelerates saturation, but it's not mandatory. Taking 3 to 5 grams per day, as recommended on the label, the muscle also saturates, it just takes a little longer, about 3 to 4 weeks. The saturation phase emerged in the first studies on creatine, where researchers wanted to accelerate the process to observe results more quickly. This loading dose strategy became popular and ended up being incorporated into manufacturers' recommendations. But the same studies showed that complete saturation also occurs with smaller doses over time. Some people report gastrointestinal discomfort during the saturation phase, precisely because they are consuming a larger amount of the supplement at once. If you've experienced this, know that it's not necessary to go through this discomfort to get the benefits. From a practical and economic perspective, the regular daily dose is also more advantageous. Your tub of creatine will last longer and you'll have the same end result. The only real difference is the time until complete muscle saturation is achieved. Number 6. It's only useful for those who do weight training. Not true. It also improves performance in explosive sports and even recovery in endurance sports. Creatine acts directly on the short-duration energy system, which is used in any activity that requires muscle explosion, not just in lifting weights. This means that sprinters, soccer players during sprints, fighters during an explosive strike, and even swimmers in short events can benefit. Recent studies show benefits even for endurance athletes, such as cyclists and marathoners. Although these sports predominantly use other energy systems, decisive moments such as a final sprint or a steep climb also depend on the immediate energy provided by the ATP-CP system. Additionally, creatine has shown benefits for muscle recovery after intense exercise, reducing markers of inflammation and muscle damage. This means less post-workout pain and faster recovery between sessions. There is also research showing cognitive benefits, especially in situations that require quick decision-making during physical activities, which is crucial in team and combat sports. Number 7. It needs to be taken at the same time every day. Many people think it only works if taken at a specific time. What matters is daily consistency, not the moment. Muscle stores remain full with continuous use. However, make it clear that it's not very good to take on an empty stomach because it can cause gastrointestinal discomfort, and it will also be better absorbed when consumed with a carbohydrate. Creatine doesn't work like a pre-workout that has an immediate effect. It works through saturation, meaning your muscles progressively store it until reaching maximum capacity. Once saturated, these levels are maintained as long as you continue taking the daily dose. Some studies suggest that taking creatine with carbohydrates can slightly increase absorption due to the insulin spike, which helps transport nutrients to cells. But this difference is minimal in the overall context. The most important thing is to create a habit that works for you. If it's easier to remember to take it with breakfast, do that. If you prefer it with your post-workout shake, that works too. The essential thing is daily consistency. Another important point: there is no need to cycle creatine. Long-term studies show that continuous use is safe, and stopping supplementation only makes your muscle levels gradually decrease, reducing the benefits. Number 8. Causes cramps and dehydration. The opposite is true. By increasing water retention in the muscles, creatine can reduce the risk of cramps and improve cellular hydration. In summary, most myths come from misinformation or misinterpretations of isolated studies. This myth probably arose because early recommendations for creatine use greatly emphasized the need to increase water intake. This led some people to mistakenly think that creatine dehydrates the body, when in fact the recommendation exists precisely because creatine pulls more water into the muscles. Studies with athletes in hot environments, where the risk of dehydration is greater, have not shown an increase in cramps or hydration-related problems with creatine use. On the contrary, better intracellular hydration may even offer protection against these problems. Research with American football players during summer training showed that athletes supplementing with creatine had fewer episodes of cramps, dehydration, and heat-related injuries compared to the placebo group. Of course, this doesn't mean you can neglect adequate hydration. Like anyone who trains intensely, you should consume enough water throughout the day. The difference is that creatine won't increase your risk of dehydration. On the contrary, it helps keep water where it's most needed, inside muscle cells. Now that you've understood exactly the myths surrounding creatine, let's move on to the true effects that have been making this supplement so popular recently. Effect number 1: increased muscle strength and power. Creatine increases phosphocreatine stores in muscles, which are used to regenerate ATP during high-intensity exercise. Result: more strength in short sets, more power in sprints, and greater ability to train heavy. ATP is like a battery that powers each muscle contraction. During intense exercise, your body quickly depletes available ATP. This is where phosphocreatine comes in, donating a phosphate group to rapidly regenerate spent ATP. With more creatine available, you can maintain intensity for longer. In practical terms, this means being able to do 1 or 2 more repetitions in each set, or use a slightly heavier load. This small gain, over time, makes a significant difference in your muscle development. Studies show strength increases between 5% and 15% in periods of 4 to 12 weeks of supplementation, depending on the individual and type of training. Gains are more pronounced in short-duration, high-intensity exercises, such as squats, bench press, and deadlift. Number 2, cognitive benefits. The brain also uses ATP, and creatine helps regenerate energy there too. Research points to improvement in memory, reasoning, and attention, especially in situations of sleep deprivation or in the elderly. Our brain consumes approximately 20% of all the body's energy, despite representing only 2% of body weight. Much of this energy comes from ATP, the same fuel used by muscles. Recent studies show that increasing brain creatine levels can improve cognitive functions, especially those requiring rapid processing. In a study with vegetarians, supplementation significantly improved working memory and fluid intelligence. Another study showed benefits in reducing mental fatigue during prolonged cognitive tasks. Particularly interesting is the neuroprotective potential of creatine. Preliminary research suggests that it may help prevent or delay the development of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, possibly by improving energy metabolism in brain cells and reducing oxidative stress. These benefits are especially relevant for the elderly, who naturally have a decrease in brain creatine levels, and for anyone who requires high cognitive performance, such as students during exam periods or professionals with a high mental workload. Number 3, improved muscle recovery. Studies show that creatine reduces inflammation and muscle damage after intense workouts. This accelerates recovery and allows for more consistent training. When we train intensely, especially with emphasis on the eccentric phase of movement, we create microlesions in the muscle fibers. This process is normal and necessary for growth, but also causes temporary pain and inflammation. Creatine has demonstrated the ability to reduce inflammatory markers and enzymes associated with muscle damage after intense exercise. A study with runners showed that those supplementing with creatine had less elevation of creatine kinase, an enzyme that indicates muscle damage after a long-distance run. Additionally, the better cellular hydration provided by creatine creates a more favorable environment for repair processes and protein synthesis. Well-hydrated cells are more resistant to stress and recover more quickly. In practice, this means less delayed onset muscle soreness, less time needed between workouts for the same muscle group, and consequently, higher training volume over the weeks. For athletes who train multiple times a day or with high weekly frequency, this benefit can be as valuable as the increase in strength. Number 4. Greater muscle volume. When entering the muscle, creatine pulls water into the muscle cells. This causes that effect of fuller muscles, improves cellular hydration, and even signals muscle growth processes. This volume increase has two components. The first is immediate and comes from greater cellular hydration. The second happens over time, resulting from the greater training stimulus that creatine provides. With more strength and better recovery, you can subject your muscles to more training volume, which leads to true hypertrophy. Increased cellular hydration is not just aesthetic. More voluminous and hydrated muscle cells have greater structural stability and a more favorable environment for protein synthesis. Studies show that cellular swelling can, by itself, be an anabolic signal, activating signaling pathways for growth. Visually, this effect is particularly noticeable in muscles such as shoulders and arms, which have a high concentration of creatine receptors. Many users report that their shirts get tighter in the first weeks of supplementation, even before any real muscle mass gain. For bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts seeking aesthetics, this immediate effect of constant pump is a welcome benefit while working for permanent muscle mass gains. Number 5. Protection against sarcopenia. Supplementation is effective in the elderly to preserve muscle mass and strength, reducing the risk of falls. Additionally, as we mentioned earlier, there are studies about its role in diseases such as Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis, showing positive effects on muscle function. Sarcopenia, age-related loss of muscle mass and function, is a serious problem that affects the quality of life and independence of the elderly. From the age of 30, we naturally begin to lose muscle mass at a rate of approximately 3 to 8% per decade, accelerating after age 60. Creatine offers a dual intervention strategy against this problem. It increases muscle strength and power, allowing the elderly to train with more intensity, and also has direct effects on protein synthesis and cellular health. Several studies have shown that elderly people supplementing with creatine during strength training programs gain significantly more lean mass and strength compared to those who only train. A 14-week study showed 30% greater gains in strength and muscle mass in the group using creatine. Beyond strength, creatine seems to improve muscle function and general mobility. One study showed improvement in walking speed and reduction in the risk of falls in elderly people supplementing with creatine. You now understand that creatine does no harm. However, there are some mistakes that many people make when taking this supplement, which unfortunately throws much of its potential in the trash. If you want to know what these common mistakes are, we have a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them better. Don't miss it. Creatine is one of the most studied and safest supplements available, with benefits that go far beyond strength gains in the gym. The myths we saw today are just that, myths based on misinformation or misinterpretation of data. If you're looking to improve your workout performance, accelerate your recovery, or even enhance your cognition, creatine can be an excellent addition to your routine. As always, consult a professional before starting any supplementation, especially if you have pre-existing medical conditions. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.